Today we need to get into what's going on with Scooter Braun and what he posted recently, and a perfect example of what I've been talking about for a really long time. We also have RM believed to have addressed the dating rumors that apparently he was dating someone, at least that's what people think, and what the speculations are with that right now. And we also have a video, a music video actually, trending and what that's about. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Make sure you join us fangirling on Patreon with some free content on Saturdays now, and let's go. So we woke up this morning, the whole BTS fandom woke up and saw something very interesting trending on Twitter. We got to see RM and his nuts trending. So if you're not aware of what's going on, there's a couple of songs on the album that may appear a bit suggestive. One of them is titled Groin and the other one is titled Nuts. Now of course I won't spoil the song for you, but neither of these songs are really that suggestive, and you definitely need to take a listen and hear the song yourself. Now apparently RM decided to release the song Nuts as a single and actually have a music video for it. This was very interesting because this was the main reason why it was trending. It was because it is now a music video, and so a lot of people online were trending RM and Nuts to sort of make it look like a joke about this, to say how funny it is that he has a song like this. And also by trending that on Twitter, a lot of people who are not following very closely, a lot of people who maybe aren't familiar that there's even a comeback, or maybe aren't even familiar with BTS in general, will see that hashtag and be like, oh my god, what's going on? It's funny in theory, and overall I think it's absolutely hilarious if a lot of people who don't know of BTS, don't know of RM, would actually see the trend and think it's funny. And that is just how social media works nowadays. And very much, at least on Twitter, very into K-pop. I go into K-pop and the comments and all that sort of stuff, so anything K-pop related gets shown to me. That includes specific hashtags or whatever's trending. I don't get hashtags or trending topics on Twitter based on current events. So something in the UK that's happening, or something that's happening in Ohio, I don't typically see it on Twitter. Thankfully, I have other news sources and other news sites that I can get my information from. So overall, I can still be aware of what's going on, but the only type of trends that I get is anything that's related to New York, because I live in New York, and then of course anything K-pop related. Unless a specific K-pop trend is trending worldwide, then would anyone actually be able to see it if they aren't a BTS fan or K-pop fan? And you'll be able to see it when it says trending worldwide. It will say that. So most of the K-pop trends are actually not trending worldwide, which means it is only going out to other people in K-pop. So I'm not trying to kill the joke, but the joke doesn't really apply, as a lot of people who would see RM and see the word nuts and would know it's about the music. They would not be people who don't know RM or don't know K-pop. Now, a lot of other people are using this as an opportunity to promote the music video, to say that a lot of people are going to wonder what this is about and why RM and Nuts are trending. However, a lot of people also might not know that RM is a person. They might just kind of think it's like an abbreviation of something. But either way, people were excited to see this, and this would potentially draw some attention to the music video, and it would be drawn in a funny and clever way, which I do think that that's true. I think a lot of people who maybe are BTS fans, who maybe didn't know that RM had a music video, or people who are RM's fans that don't necessarily know, are now made aware of it. There's a lot of things that people aren't aware of, and one of the more recent things, and the stuff that I was seeing, was with Scooter Braun. So if you're not aware of what's going on, let me very quickly recap. Basically, there's a lot of controversy with Scooter because people think that he is very pro-genocide, and literally just due to his religion and where he grew up from. So I think that that's very crazy. And basically at this point, anything that he posts or anything that he says is used against him to say that he is an awful person or that he is for genocide and all that stuff. I don't defend Scooter. I don't like a lot of the stuff that he has been accused of doing, whether that's with Taylor Swift or whatever it is. However, I think that a lot of the anger is coming from the fact that the community is mad at him, and then they're trying to find different reasons to be upset at Scooter, because there's a lot of people that are in a very similar position to Scooter that aren't getting as much backlash, just that people now just don't like the idea that Scooter and all of his controversies has now been associated with BTS. Anyway, he posted a story on Instagram and he basically talked about how he was against the killing of people. He was talking about how that was awful, and he was really getting into the fact that, like, whether you're on one side or the other, both are against the mass killing of people. And he wanted to stress that this is something that has been annoying him because he is upset about this. I think what the community has gotten from this and what they have taken away from this was, oh, he's annoyed. We need to be even louder now. Because now that the hate is actually getting to him, and then they feel like what they're doing is actually working. When in reality, what they're doing makes no sense. Because everyone is fighting for or at least publicly saying that they're fighting for the genocide to stop. And then they're using that as a reason to hate Scooter. Whereas Scooter in this post is literally saying that he's against that as well. And then now I'm seeing posts like people saying that they need to remove Scooter and that they need to keep fighting to remove him over that post that he just made, which in my opinion isn't problematic at all. It's actually a post that I think we can all agree with. The community can sometimes be a bit much when I see any little thing can tick them off and almost reignite a fire under them when that fire was never supposed to be ignited. There was never really any gasoline there. They just kind of got angry amongst themselves and decided to make a big deal about it, which is even more annoying, right? When people who are involved and people who the community is mad at don't even really get a chance to be a part of the conversation to tell people to stop being mad. At this point, it doesn't really even matter what he says anymore. People are still going to just be mad. So he can address the situation directly, he can talk to the people directly, and they're just going to find a reason to be upset at him. Recently, one of RM's songs, I believe, was Right Place, Wrong Person. There was a specific lyric that got everyone talking. Basically, he was addressing a relationship and what appears to be a tumultuous relationship, one where he talks about that. And it clearly seems like it was a person that they both went through hardships together and they both tried to make it work, but ultimately it didn't work. And this was great for him to put out because I think a lot of people have expected it for a while that he was probably in some sort of relationship or even was married. And perhaps when he was trying on rings or playing around with that idea, he was playing around with this idea of marrying that person. But that person now is not with him. We don't know the full story. We don't know if it really was a mutual breakup and a breakup where it was kind of on both of their faults and they were kind of both fighting a lot or whatever it was. So I see a lot of people online kind of fighting with this idea that, oh my God, whoever this girl was, she obviously let go of someone who was like a gold mine. When in reality, oftentimes, a lot of breakups are rarely one-sided, and there's usually a lot of stuff going on, especially really long relationships. They wouldn't be over something small and silly, and it's usually something that they both have been battling for a really long time. Now, people went on this manhunt to figure out who this person was and if this person was still in any way having a relationship with RM, whether that is a friendship or whatever it is. And some people were wondering if this person had ever visited RM, and they kind of needed to check and see if there was any sight of any woman that had visited RM. And depending on how long they were together and how long they broke up, like how long it's been since they broke up, would definitely determine whether or not she would have gone to the camp to visit him. If they had just broken up, I doubt she would appear. Whereas if they had broken up maybe a year or two ago, then she might appear to say hi or whatever it is. However, it's interesting as there has not been any photos nor any videos of anyone who seems to be close with RM that is a woman that had appeared at the camp. And a lot of people were definitely wondering where this is coming from, as RM has talked about he wasn't dating anyone and all that stuff, and then suddenly there was this woman that he's singing about. But also all of this could just be fake. A lot of singers and artists nowadays, and this isn't a bad thing, but they just don't take from personal experiences to write a song. They sometimes take things from a movie or they take things from a story that they made up in their head, and then they use that to write music. And the reason why is because a lot of artists don't have time in between their album releases to actually go and live life and experience it. The only artist that I can think of that probably does this is Adele, where I feel like she writes about her own life and it's coming from the fact that she takes these 3 or 4 year breaks in between to go and live life, whereas most artists like BTS or whatever, they kind of release songs a month apart. So when do they do have time to actually go and date and live life? So it's usually made up, and that's okay, and that's great. So definitely keep that in mind if we're talking about who this girlfriend could be, because it could be completely made up. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks, just leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.